Hmm. Hello, everyone. Welcome wherever you are. It's very nice to be here with you on this Lunar New Year. Just letting a few more people come in. And while they are, I will just share my voice right now. I have been blessed with many activations back to back, both from fellow priestess sisters and Kundalini activations, as well as from different ascended masters, actually. And I will say that this is one of the first times in my life as being conscious that I have been receiving activations from actual ascended masters. It's been otherworldly, to say the least. And one of the results of this activation has been me losing my voice like this. My angels and some of my guides explained that my voice would be impacted. I did take it metaphorically. And then after a couple of days, this was the result. So this is where my voice is today. And thank you very much for being with me and showing up, listening to my voice like this. And actually, I will share one of my dear friends said to me when he heard the way I sounded, he said, "So are you still going to do the live stream tomorrow?" And I said, "Of course I am." And he said, "Wow, that I really admire that you're willing to show up and just be transparent, because a lot of people would choose not to do that." And I really thought about it. It had not occurred to me that someone else might, I don't know, cancel this event. But to me, I am a human. I am a human, and this is a human aspect of my life, and I'm going to show up. I committed to being here. So, and I still want to celebrate with you all, and I feel wonderful. My voice is just evolving. So, you are witnessing me in my evolution, very, very literally. So, that's really all I wanted to mention about my voice and say thank you. We are here today because we are celebrating the Lunar New Year. So I want to share just a little piece about that. And I also want to tell you a story. But before we do that, many of you saw the email invitation, and also somewhere else, I think on YouTube, that we are also having a cacao ceremony together. So if you have your cacao or some other hot beverage that you would like to drink with us, or even just water, whatever temperature beverage you would like to sip, I welcome you to get that now. I'm going to get mine. And I'm just going to open with a little blessing. I welcome you to take in the prayers and the blessings that I am offering to you and offering to your beverage, and to include your own prayers and your own blessings in what we're going to do. So, bringing your cup or just your hands if you don't have a drink to your heart, closing your eyes, taking a deep breath, exhaling and relaxing your body. Let yourself arrive to this moment. Bring your awareness to your heart center. Thank you, Sacred Mother. Thank you, Sacred Earth. Thank you for all that you give to us. Thank you for how you nourish us. Thank you for this blessing of cacao, of water, of our hearts. Thank you to all of our ancestors, past, present, and future, who have allowed us to have this sacred medicine and this sacred moment today. Thank you for the breath that fills our lungs. Thank you for the fire that ignites our spirits. Thank you for the water that cleanses our souls. Thank you for the holy ground that we get to walk upon, hand in hand. May all beings know love. May all beings know peace. May all beings know the medicine of their soul. Whisper your prayers and intentions into your sacred cup or into your heart. And when you are ready, taking a sip. So while you are sipping your cacao or your drink, or perhaps sipping energy from your heart if you don't have anything next to you, if you would like to get a drink or a journal, I welcome you to do that now. I am going to share with you a little bit about this very special day. So it is January 29th, 2025. This is the day that for thousands of years, the culture of China has celebrated the New Year. It is called the Lunar New Year because the New Year in that culture is always celebrated on the second new moon that falls after the winter solstice. Sometimes the day is moved based on a variety of factors, but today is the day this year. And this also happens to be the new moon. So if you did not know that, we are also gathering on a new moon right now. A new moon, and this particular new moon, because it is the second after the winter solstice, this is the time to set your intentions for the rest of this year. So the light of the moon is gone right now. You are bringing forth the light of your spirit and offering what it is that you are going to create. So I want to share with you how the Lunar New Year came to be. It is a wonderful story. I just love this story. So the Chinese zodiac and the Lunar New Year all came together because of, and this is how the story goes. There was an emperor known as the Jade Emperor who wanted a way to measure time. So he called on all of the animals to hold a race. This race was going to be a swimming race, so they had to cross a great river, and whoever made it to the other side first would be the animals that were included in the zodiac. He only had 12 spaces, so it would be the first 12 that made it. All of the animals lined up, and some of them were mythological, some of them we know today. And when they were at the bank of the river, before they had even gone in, the rat and the cat were the animals that were probably the most concerned about making it across to the other side because they were not very good swimmers and the river was also very, very fast. So being clever, they saw the very kind ox and they asked the oxen, can we please have a ride across? Because we are very afraid of jumping in the water. And the ox, being incredibly kind, said, of course, just jump on my back. So the cat and the rat did. The ox began to move ahead, and it was a very strong swimmer, so it was in the lead. Just before making it to the other side, the rat pushed the cat off of the ox. The cat fell into the water and started to be drifting downstream. Then just before actually making it to land, the rat jumped off of the ox and got ahead. And so the rat is the first zodiac of the year. Very clever, mischievous. So the oxen is the second animal of the year, and he is known as being very kind because he was the one who gave the animals a ride. The third animal that came was the tiger. Tiger is very strong and took his time, but made it across. He's the third animal. The next animal is the rabbit. And the rabbit is a very special animal in Chinese culture and also within this story because the rabbit is also not a strong swimmer, very small. And the way that it made it across the river was by using rocks that it had seen, but then the rocks eventually stopped and it didn't know how else it was going to make it. So now it's in the middle of a very rushing river. And eventually a log started to float by. So the rabbit jumped onto the log and a very strong wind carried the log and the rabbit across. And so then the rabbit made it to the other side. And the rabbit is the fourth animal in the zodiac. So then the dragon flies in, and the Jade Emperor is sitting there watching all these animals, marking off who has come in first and second and through to fourth. And when the Jade Emperor sees the dragon, the Jade Emperor asks, "Why are you here so late? You can fly. Why are you not the first animal across the river?" And the dragon said, "Well, before I left the other side, I saw a bunch of my friends, these other animals, who were really thirsty. And so I decided to bring in the rain so that they could have a drink. And then as I was actually crossing the river, I saw the rabbit on this log, and I knew that the rabbit wouldn't make it without a strong wind. So I gave the rabbit wind to make it across to the other side." So the dragon came in fifth place because the dragon was helping other animals. The next animal that was coming was the horse. The horse is very strong and so was making its way. And just before it was crossing, the snake, which had secretly hidden itself on the horse, wound itself around the horse's legs, which scared the horse. And so then the snake slithered ahead and it got sixth place. So then the horse came in seventh. The next animals to arrive, this would have been quite a scene, and I love imagining this. A goat, a rooster, and a monkey all coming in on a raft across the river. The raft made it to the other side, and what had happened, the Jade Emperor wanted to know. The rooster was sitting next to the monkey and didn't really know what to say, so the monkey decided to jump in, being clever and wise and also very quick-witted. The monkey told the story of how the rooster had found the raft, and together the goat and the monkey had worked to untangle the raft from these weeds that it had been caught in. The monkey had been the one telling the goat a little bit what to do, and the goat had taken things off, and the monkey had helped as well. So the next animals that came in line were the monkey, and then the goat, and then the rooster. The 11th animal to come was the dog. And when the dog came, the Jade Emperor was again surprised and said, "You are a very strong swimmer. You naturally can swim. Why are you coming in 11th place?" And the dog said, "Well, when I got in the river, it just was so fresh. I had to stop and play." So the dog got distracted because it was playing in the water. The last animal to come, maybe some of you know. Who is the last animal? I wish I could take your guesses. If you are in my Zoom room, I would love to see your guesses. Who is the last animal to make it? There were many animals in the race, but only 12 made it to the zodiac. We have a few. Okay, so some say a tortoise. Some are guessing the cat. Yes, the cat should have been in the zodiac, but I'm going to tell you why it wasn't the cat, because the cat, the poor thing, is still struggling downstream. And some of you have guessed. The last animal that came in was the pig. The reason why the pig was last, and the Jade Emperor had to know, why are you last? What were you doing? The pig said, "Well, before I even left the bank of the river, I realized that I was really hungry. And so I ate a huge meal because I was very, very hungry. And then because I ate so much, I became really tired. And so I had to take a nap." So the pig is known as being a little lazy and indulging in what it wants to do in the moment, which is not a bad thing, but it does mean that it comes in last and it needs a little extra energy to get it going. So that is the pig. And the poor cat, the cat, which should have been in the zodiac because it is one of the luckiest animals and has been revered in China. The cat finally clawed its way onto the shore, and the Jade Emperor was very sad and asked the cat what happened. And the cat explained and said, well, the rat pushed me off and I struggled and have finally made it. But there are not 13 places. So the cat does not get to be a zodiac. And to this day, cats and rats do not get along. That is the story. So each year of the zodiac is also associated with one of the 5 elements in Chinese culture. So there are 5 elements in Chinese medicine as well. They are wood, air, fire, water, and earth. So wood is kind of this extra one that we don't use a lot in other cultures, but it is associated with the body and many other things. Last year was the year of the wood dragon. This year is the earth snake. So very earthy, wood, and then earth. And then we have 2 reptiles, a mythological reptile and then our earth reptile. And the snake, of course, in this story, we heard it secretly crawled onto the horse. And then just before the horse was going to make it across the way, it tangled itself around its legs and got ahead and scared the horse intentionally and got ahead. So the snake is very cunning. It used what it knew about the horse, that the horse would be afraid. It used that against the horse to get ahead. So I am going to bring all of this together now with where we are astrologically this year, and also share, very exciting for me and for you as well, some information from the 3 guides about this year and relating to this story in the Chinese zodiac. So first I will talk about the sign of Scorpio, because this is all connected. For you astrologers out there, I am not an astrologer, but for you astrologers out there, you may know some of this, and you will know far more than I, but you also may know some of the really influential aspects and ways that Scorpio is affecting us this year. There are many, and we are in one right now. There's a lot happening with Scorpio and with Pluto, which is the planet of transformation. Scorpio is one of the only signs that has it, to my knowledge, it is the only sign in the Western astrology that has 3 distinct phases that it is able to move through. So the first phase is the scorpion itself. And the Scorpio scorpion is kind of the most secretive and also the one that's moving around and generally lurking in the dark, possibly scaring other people. Then the Scorpio is able to go through transformation. That is what this year is connected to. So the next levels of transformation are moving into the eagle. So now the Scorpio is able to see above things, have a higher vantage point. The eagle, though, it is still an animal that will take food from others, and it is a scavenger as well. So it's still not necessarily finding its own way, but the eagle is also connected with many indigenous cultures of having this far perspective. And there is dignity in the beings who are scavengers, because they are also they are using what is available to them. And eagles also find fresh food on their own as well. So they are both scavengers and they find fresh food. That is this next transformation of still taking what would be otherwise decomposed, what would be thrown away, and finding something that is useful and fresh. That is this metaphor with the eagle. The eagle is able to go through another phase of transformation. And that is also in the actual animal world, eagles are able to go through a transformation where they remove almost every outer part of themselves to become new. That is what this year actually is. So the majority of humanity, actually, and we won't even say majority, I'll just say some of humanity, is moving through the year of the earth snake, which is where we are. But the other part of humanity, they are going to evolve from the snake into the dragon. So that is part of the transformation that humanity is going through as a whole. It is connected to our actual Kundalini, our life force energy that moves through us. It is evolving from the snake into the dragon. Consequently, the most ancient part of our brain, the reptilian brain, as we call it, it is also the part that is in the centermost part of our brain and the farthest down that is connected to our brain stem, which is then connected to our spinal cord and our nervous system. That is known as the reptilian brain. When someone chooses to accept the evolution of their Kundalini, their reptilian brain transforms into a dragon brain. There's no other way to really say that. It transforms. So now the perspective and the way that the nervous system is functioning is no longer like a reptile. It is no longer like a snake using its cunningness to scare other people, like the horse, and to get ahead out of fear that it's going to lose. It's no longer using its powers to push people away and to keep people out and act solely on instinct, which is based on fear. Now the reptilian brain is able to evolve into a dragon brain. Dragons have a higher vantage. They are able to fly, so they have a literal higher vantage, and they are very kind. They want to help others. They are not as concerned about getting ahead. They don't need to be first, even though they could be. They would rather help other beings and assist them and see them through to their own evolution and their own success over them claiming their own place in line. So that is part of the evolution that much of humanity is going to be going through this year. And the next piece of that, and this is where I'm going to say, if you are hearing this message right now, my guides are saying, yes, that's true. If you're hearing this message right now, the phase of evolution that you are actually moving into, or it will be very swift from the dragon from the snake to the dragon. The next phase is into the phoenix. So this is actually the year of the phoenix. This is the year of full transformation for, again, many, many people. The majority of humanity is choosing to go from snake to dragon. And if you are hearing this message right now, you are going from dragon to phoenix. There are other beings who are going to move through those three phases quite rapidly, which is part of the reason why we are seeing this year start with a lot of energy. And in California, in Southern California, the fires are going crazy, as many of you know. And if you are being impacted by that, my heart is with you. If anyone you know is being impacted by that, as there are many beings I know who are going through that right now. A year of transformation, a year of burning something down to become something new, regardless of the source, understanding what is happening on this planet as a metaphor. That is the way of wisdom, is seeing it as a metaphor. So there are all of these ways, all of these systems that we are going to see burn and crumble, come down to ashes, to invite us to come into something new, to invite us to enter into our presence as a phoenix, as a being who knows how to completely shed and let go, burn itself down to the ground, and then be reborn again with faith. With faith. The phoenix would not allow itself to burn and fall to ashes without the faith of knowing that it is going to return again. It is through that death that we are born into something greater. That is this year. There are many events that we are going to go through collectively, which means there are many events that we are each going to go through individually that are going to ask us to step into this role, that are going to ask the question, do you have faith? Do you have the faith to know that the falling down and the crumbling into ashes is part of your glorious rebirth? So, what I want to invite you into now that you know all of that, who are you becoming? Who are you birthing this year? What are you shedding? And what are you giving birth to? I want to give you just a minute or so, to sit with that, to write it down if you wish, because I am going to lead you into a breath that brings up energy so that you can take the energy from this old year. You're going to bring it up. You're going to release it. And that is going to be the fire of your transformation, the fire of your rebirth. It's right here inside of you. And we are going to use all that you are to become all that you are meant to be. So take a moment to write your intention. Who are you becoming? So, my guides have gifted me with a beautiful breath, and a very sacred being gifted me with the name of this breath. This is called Dragon's Breath. Very appropriate. It is a breath that is similar to Breath of Fire, and it is a way of bringing up the energy that is already within you to then use it to transform into something else. There is a lot of energy that remains in our lower 3 chakra centers, and energy that is connecting you to the earth, you to your ancestral line, and then in the quantum field, you being connected to parallel or past lifetimes as well. Each of those layers is affected when you do this breath. So it is a very energetic breath and also very transformative. It's very powerful. That is why we are doing this on this new moon and also for this ceremony, because it is a way of you are saying, I am ready to transform and I have everything within me to do that. I just need to know how to transmute it. This is a way of transmuting the energy that is within you to become something new. That is why I am sharing it with all of you. So the breath, before I explain how to actually do it, I just want to share with you. First of all, I'm not going to lead you through as long of a breath as I normally do. Number one. So it will not be that long. This is an introduction for you. So you can take it longer. And now that you will know how to do this, you can do it anytime you wish. I will say that sitting with this breath for around maybe 15 minutes. I'm not going to do that today, but I would encourage you to go no longer than that initially. You have to really get accustomed to this breath because it is extremely powerful. Please don't underestimate that. So if you want to do this on your own, try for 15 minutes and see how you do. Set a timer or what have you. And then if you want to take it longer, then go longer and see how you do. But start with 15 for the first several times that you do this. We will not be doing it that long, just to remind you. The other piece with this breath, the way that it affects you physiologically, there are a few things that are going to happen, particularly if you do it longer. So this may or may not happen to you when we do this together right now, because we will not be doing it for a very long time. But what is normal? Your hands and your feet may go into kind of claws, dragon claws. They contort in some ways. You may find that your body naturally wants to rock or move a lot, normal. The other thing that is going to happen, you may release sounds. That may happen. With any breath work, sounds may be released, but particularly this one, you may suddenly feel like you need to yell. Sometimes it's other sounds that are kind of pleasant or just soft. It all just depends on what is coming up within you. The other piece, and this is where I'm looking as intently as I can into your eyes while I say this. Please do not underestimate what I am going to say next. This breath releases dimethyltryptamine in your brain. DMT is released in your brain by doing this breath. DMT is the psychoactive compound in several different plant medicines. So this breath is a way of stimulating the natural psychoactive compounds that reside within your brain. We have neurotransmitters and neurotransmitter sites that receive and release DMT. And this breath will make that happen. So I'm saying that to you so that you can understand that this experience is a self-generated psychoactive experience. And just as with anything that includes DMT, you may experience visuals, you may experience lightheadedness, your body may feel extremely euphoric. Those are all things that are likely to happen with this. And one day I will release a video about the spiritual power of DMT, but just know that it is one of the most transformative neurochemicals that our body can possibly produce. That is why this breath is transformative. DMT is one of the compounds that we can use as alchemists to transmute energy. Now, there is a lot that one day I will talk about how all of that is possible and how that all happens, but I just want you to understand the power of this breath. And again, today, we're not going to be doing it for very long. So you may or may not experience any of the things that I just said. You will likely feel somewhat lightheaded. That will probably happen. Your brain is going to change for sure, especially because we're all doing this together. So the field is a lot stronger than if you were just doing this on your own. There are many, many of us here right now. So it's going to come on a bit more concentrated than it would, which is why we don't have to do it as long. But that is all very likely to happen. What I want to encourage you to do, if your body starts to move, whatever it starts doing, moving, contorting, if you start to release sounds, I just want you to do your best, to use your discipline, to come back to the breath. That is the most important piece. It is your anchor. So I am going to show you the breath and a way of knowing how the breath is coming through you to know if you are actually moving the breath and therefore moving the energy appropriately. I'm going to encourage you to put your hand on your belly to start with, especially if you have never done this before. A way of knowing if you are actually forcing the air out correctly is to pant like a dog, which means sticking your tongue out. I'm going to do that right now live on YouTube. I'm going to stick my tongue out so that I can show you the way that the breath actually moves through you. And you will see my hand is going to move with my belly. Sorry that I'm not as upright as I probably could be with the camera. My hand and my belly are moving in and out because that is how we are bringing the energy up. We are forcing the energy in our centers to come up and out with this breath. So to get started, especially if you've never done this before, and I encourage you to try this with me while I am showing you before we actually go in. Stick your tongue out and you're going to pant like a dog. The focus is on the exhale. Do not even think about breathing in. Just think about the exhale. So you can see, I hope you can see well enough, my belly and my body are moving out with each breath. My belly is coming out and then moving in again to force it out. And again, that is not really something you have to think about. I don't want you to really focus on what your belly is doing. I want you to focus on the exhale and know that you are going to inhale naturally. Your belly is going to move in and out and the energy is going to move if you are just focusing on the exhale. So that is how I do the breath. I encourage you to start with panting, to stick with panting if that is going to help you hold it, which means keeping your tongue out, focusing only on the exhale. Once you have it down, or if you feel you have it down now, then switch to blowing the air out like you're blowing a candle out, very forcefully. So that is what you will do. Yes, it's going to be slightly uncomfortable. Your throat is going to get dry. You might start drooling. We don't know. But all of that is hidden behind wherever you are. You don't have to have your camera on right now like I do. And it is the way that this energy is coming up and out of you. So just let it go. Don't worry about what you look like. The only thing for you to focus on is your exhale. If you start to feel overly lightheaded, which again, we're not doing this for very long, so that shouldn't happen. But if you begin to feel too lightheaded, that's okay. Just pause, take a deep breath in, exhale, and return with us as soon as you can to come back into this rhythm. So, if I were with you in person, I would ask if you had any questions. But we are moving on faith. And we're going to trust that everything that you need, you currently have, including the way to do this, because this breath is not new to any of us. I just happen to be given it and be reminded of it sooner. So, while we are doing this, I encourage you, ask your guides, I guess before we are doing this, ask your guides, your angels, your dragons to be with you. Invite the spirit of your phoenix to be with you, to give you energy and to support you through this. Also know that I am here and I am there with you, supporting you through this. So, while we are doing this, I am going to be keeping beat with my drum, because that is what we do. The drum is the rhythm and the beat for you to match your breath to. So if at any point you fall off the wagon, you fall off the raft, you get kicked off the ox, whatever happens, come back to the rhythm of the drum. And don't try to hold on to anything. That whatever you see, whatever you experience, if you see nothing and experience nothing, don't hold on to any of it. Your focus is on the exhale, and it's on your own transformation. You are taking the energy that is already within you, that is ready to transform into something else and allowing it to transform you. That is what you are doing here today. So, get ready. Find a comfortable seat. You cannot lie down while you do this. You must be sitting upright with as straight a spine as possible. If you think that you might move, if that's something that your body does naturally, maybe sit on the ground or just in a safe place where you're able to do that. You won't be thrashing in any way, but your body just might rock. That might happen. And as always, because we are closing off all of the other senses, I would like you to close your eyes while we are doing this. Your focus is on your exhale. That is it. It's on your exhale. Uplifting energy, exhaling it out. So you don't have to make anything happen. It's going to happen as long as you focus on the exhale. So, close your eyes. Sit your body upright. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Inhale in. Deeply, filling your lungs. Hold at the top. Exhale out, sighing everything away. Release. Relax. Inhale deeply. Fill your lungs, your belly. Hold at the top. That is your life force filling you. Release. Exhale. Let it go. Allow your body to come back to an upright position, your breath to return to normal. And we begin. Focus on the exhale. If you get lightheaded, take a deep breath and join us again. Yes, you could stop. This is just your transformation. Don't listen to that voice that says, I've done enough. There is more. What is underneath that voice that says, I can't? An unlimited being of creation. There is more energy within you. Bring it forward. A divine emanation of source. Find out who you are. Take a deep breath in. Be in stillness. You may find you need no breath at all. Allow yourself to lie down, to relax fully wherever you are, very slowly, mindfully moving. Allowing the energy that you have just transmuted to integrate in your being. Just let yourself be. Relaxing your body fully, taking a deep breath in, and as you exhale, softening everything. Soften your belly. Soften your face. Soften your heart. Soften your mind. Feel the stillness in the center of your being. Feel the energy in the center of your being. You have given yourself new life today. You have welcomed new life. You have said yes to shedding your old skin. You have said, I am ready for transformation. You have shown up and done this breath, which says to the universe, I am willing to do the work to transmute. I am here to transform myself. I am no longer waiting for someone or something outside of me to change me. I am the phoenix, and I transform myself. Place your hands over your heart. Feel the fire of your spirit, how brightly it burns within you. Welcoming you into greatness, into your highest evolution. You have called back your power today. You have chosen to take transformation back into your own hands, to remember your own mastery. A master does not wait for someone to transform them. A master transforms. And it is all within you. There is nothing that you need to go acquire in order to transform. The energy is here right now, inside of you, waiting for you to use it. And so you have today. Feel the truth of that in your heart. And express your love and gratitude for yourself, for what you have chosen to give to yourself today. It's only you who can do this. And you said yes. Be proud of yourself. You chose to go into the unknown with me and everyone else here today. Feel the love in your heart. That is all for you. That love is of you, and it is for you. Taking a deep breath in. And if you wish to rejoin us, you can slowly open your eyes with new awareness. Your eyes are transformed, and you are seeing the world for the first time right now. So what will you choose to see today? When you go, look in the mirror. Will you gaze deeply into your own eyes and see yourself for the first time? I wonder what you will find. I wonder if you will see the fire of your own spirit. You now have time to reflect, to journal, to consider, and really contemplate. What are you ready for? And it's not what your ego tells you. It's not what your mind says you are or are not ready for. It is what your heart wants. That is what you are ready for. And that is all you need to know. Not how and not why, just what. Let God surprise you with how. And let your soul delight you with why. I am deeply honored. Thank you. Thank you for letting me guide you today. Thank you for sharing this ceremonial space. It is one of my greatest joys and honors to be in a space like this. Thank you. I will play a closing song. I invite you to stay in this space until the song ends. I will be here. Who are you becoming? What are you giving birth to? What are you being the midwife for? Take time to consider. And remember your magic today.